Tonight on NewsWatch, countries express serious concerns as tensions between North Korea and South Korea escalate. Plus, why some say a United Nations arms treaty could threaten the rights of gun owners right here in America. And Hispanics in the heartland. Hear why Latinos are flocking to Iowa. All this and much more tonight on NewsWatch. And good evening, everyone. I'm Wendy Griffith. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has banned South Koreans from working in an industrial plant on the border between the two countries. It's the latest sign of hostility that threatens to break out in a possible conflict. John Wagi has tonight's top story.
This industrial zone on the border between North and South Korea is a rare example of cooperation between two countries always on edge. Since 2004, even in the most hostile times, the industrial plant stayed open to provide manufacturing work for 50,000 North Koreans. But on Wednesday, North Korea barred South Korean managers and trucks from entering the zone, another act to provoke South Korea and the world.
그럼에도 불구하고
South Korean spokesman Kim Hyung-suk says the North's decision to block entry and exit to the industrial zone will bring international criticism and further isolation of North Korea. Just one day earlier, Pyongyang announced it would restart a nuclear plant it blew up in 2008 to gain international favor. The purpose for reconstruction will be to build nuclear weapons. The hostility prompted a show of unity with South Korea in Washington and some tough talk from Secretary of State John Kerry.
The bottom line is very simply that what Kim Jong-un has been choosing to do is provocative, it is dangerous, reckless, and the United States will not accept the DPRK as a nuclear state. And I reiterate again, the United States will do what is necessary to defend ourselves and defend our allies, Korea and Japan.
North Korea's belligerence means a heightened level of awareness for thousands of U.S. military personnel stationed on or near the Korean peninsula. And 2 missile-destroying U.S. warships have been deployed to the Western Pacific. U.S. General James Thurman commands the UN force on the Korean border. He told ABC News his biggest concern is a miscalculation or an impulsive decision.
There's 14,000 tubes of artillery just across this line beyond that far mountain range over there. If they decided to, resume hostilities, I think we got to be ready to go.
The Obama administration says it is willing to include North Korea in talks with Iran over nuclear weapons. Such talks may be just what Kim is looking for, another reward for the threats he and his regime created. John Wagi, CBN News.
North Korea is the most hostile place for Christians around the globe. That's according to the annual World Watch list from the Open Doors organization. The list ranks the 50 countries where Christian persecution is most severe. North Korea tops the 2013 list. In the country of 20 million, there are about 400,000 Christians. About 25% of those are believed to be imprisoned in labor camps because of their faith. The United Nations has overwhelmingly passed an international treaty dealing with weapons. But some critics warn it could be a threat to the rights of gun owners here in America. The Obama administration supports the treaty, but the Senate may reject it. Ephraim Graham has the story.
Gun rights advocates in the U.S. are preparing for a new battle with the White House. The Obama administration voted in support Tuesday of a UN treaty to regulate the international arms trade.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 154. Against, 3. Abstain, 23. Draft Resolution A/67/L58 is adopted.
A pact critics say could lead to a national firearms registry and disrupt the American gun market. The treaty requires countries to take actions to ensure their arms exports won't be used to harm civilians or violate human rights laws.
The treaty we have agreed will make trade in conventional arms more responsible and transparent, reduce human suffering, and tangibly contribute to international peace, security, and stability.
The Obama administration says the treaty applies only to international trade, claiming it will not infringe on the Second Amendment rights of Americans. But the National Rifle Association disagrees. The powerful gun lobby argues the treaty violates the Second Amendment pointing out among the list of regulated weapons are small arms, which includes rifles and handguns. Many in the U.S. Senate also opposed the treaty, including 8 Democrats. They vowed to block ratification. A 2/3 majority is required to make the treaty legally binding in the U.S. Senator James Inhofe said, quote, "Americans will not stand for internationalists limiting and infringing upon their constitutional rights." And Senator Thad Cochran is also opposing the treaty, saying the Senate has already gone on record in stating that an arms trade treaty has no hope, especially if it does not specifically protect the individual right to bear arms and American sovereignty. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
The American Center for Law and Justice has won another ruling against the contraception mandate in the Obamacare. The ACLJ presented 2 Ohio brothers who own produce companies in 23 states. The brothers are Catholic and have a religious objection to providing contraceptives and drugs that induce abortions. The Obamacare mandate requires insurance plans pay for those kind of drugs, but a U.S. Court of Appeals says they don't have to follow the mandate until there's a final ruling in the case. A federal judge has ruled that a makeshift cross can be displayed at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum Park in New York. Here it is. Its intersecting steel beams survived the World Trade Center collapse in the form of a cross. Many New Yorkers consider the cross a beacon of hope that came out of the tragedy. But the group American Atheists sued to have the symbol removed from the site. Judge Deborah Batts ruled that the display of the beams is permissible because they bear historical importance. Alabama lawmakers are tightening rules for abortion clinics. The State House gave final passage to the Women's Health and Safety Act. The bill requires abortion clinics to use doctors who have approval to admit patients to hospitals in the same city. Some clinics use doctors from other cities that don't have local hospital privileges. Critics say it will make it harder for women to exercise their right to an abortion, but supporters say the new regulations will protect women. Well, a group called And Then There Were None is working to help abortion clinic workers flee the industry. Monday, April 8th, is Exodus 2013, National Leave the Abortion Industry Day. And Then There Were None is offering to help and support those who want to walk away from the business of abortion. Since 2012, more than 45 abortion clinic workers have left the industry through this group. And joining us now is Abby Johnson, the woman behind Exodus 2013. Abby is a former Planned Parenthood director. She now works to advance the pro-life cause. Abby, first tell us your story. How did you go from a director at the nation's largest abortion provider to a pro-life advocate?
Well, I left Planned Parenthood on October 6, 2009, after witnessing a live abortion procedure. An ultrasound was used during the abortion, and I saw a 13-week-old unborn child fight and struggle for his life during that abortion procedure. And I knew then, after seeing the humanity of this tiny child, that I had to leave and I had to get out of the abortion industry.
For those who work in the abortion industry, what do you think are the reasons that they feel bound to their jobs?
Whenever you are really kind of saturated in an evil like that, you try to justify what you're doing. And sometimes those justifications will trump rational thought at times. And so a lot of times they feel like, I've been doing this for so long, how could I ever get out of this? Many of the people that we work with are single parents. So to leave their job, to leave benefits, that's a very scary thought to them without having something else to fall back on. And, they're also fearful of the abortion industry. They're scared that the abortion industry could come after them legally or in some other way.
How are you helping them leave the abortion industry?
So I founded a ministry in June of 2012 called And Then There Were None. And we are able to provide 4 streams of support for abortion clinic workers who would like to leave. We're able to provide financial support so that they can go ahead and leave their job immediately. We don't ever want money to be the reason that someone stays inside of the abortion industry. So we're able to provide them financial support and also help get them in contact with people who could help them find employment. We provide emotional support, legal support for them, and also spiritual support.
Abby, real quick, why do you think it's important to take a stand against this billion-dollar abortion industry?
Well, they're taking the lives of 1.2 million babies every year. And I believe that we are absolutely called to speak up for the weak. And I believe that God absolutely intended us to speak up for the unborn.
Abby Johnson, thanks so much for your insights and for spending some time with us today. We appreciate you. God bless. And coming up, Israel speaks up on behalf of Jewish refugees expelled from Arab lands.
Someone once said, life doesn't give do-overs. But that's not entirely true.
What a remarkable comeback for Kurt Warner.
I'm Kurt Warner, and I got a second chance that changed my life. I remember those feelings. I didn't want to fail. I want to give you an opportunity to chase after your dream.
Seriously?
When you know you were meant to do something, you can't let life stand in your way.
This is what I've been trying for so many years. I've been given a second chance.
The Moment, a new reality series hosted by Kurt Warner, premieres Thursday, April 11th at 10, only on USA.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Someone once said, life doesn't give do-overs. But that's not entirely true.
What a remarkable comeback for Kurt Warner.
I'm Kurt Warner, and I got a second chance that changed my life. I remember those feelings. I didn't want to fail. I want to give you an opportunity to chase after your dream.
Seriously?
When you know you were meant to do something, you can't let life stand in your way.
This is what I've been trying for so many years. I've been given a second chance.
The Moment, a new reality series hosted by Kurt Warner, premieres Thursday, April 11th at 10, only on USA.
Nigerian Christians are appealing for prayers after a new round of violence. Attacks during the Easter season left as many as 80 people dead. More than 4,000 others were left displaced. Since Easter, at least 19 people were killed after gunmen attacked the mostly Christian Adhikar group. Well, in the Middle East, much of the talk surrounding the Israeli-Arab conflict deals with land. Israel wants the world to know about the hundreds of thousands of Jewish refugees expelled from Arab lands as a result of the rebirth of the State of Israel. Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell has our story.
For thousands of years, Jewish communities thrived throughout the Middle East. But all that changed in 1948, when Muslim nations reacted violently to Israel's birth.
Jews of Middle Eastern and North African descent, almost 900,000 of these Jews were exiled forcibly from their homes throughout the Middle East and North Africa when the State of Israel was founded.
After the 1967 Six-Day War, another wave of persecution hit and forced most of the remaining Jews to leave 11 Middle Eastern and North African countries. Linda Munichen became one of those refugees.
Nobody would want anything with the Jews, especially with the incitement going on the radio, in the mosques. So we were labeled like the fifth column. Also, more constraints were put, like you couldn't take out from your own account from the bank more than 100 dinars a month.
In 1970, Munichen and her brother left Baghdad for Israel, keeping their flight secret from their father, a prominent lawyer.
We didn't even kiss goodbye because I thought we'll meet one day. Anyway, I had to run away through Iran.
They escaped into the unknown.
I was disguised like an Arab when I looked, and my brother bought a very old coat. It was very cold winter. And to To our big luck, everything went smoothly because at the time Jews were not allowed to be away from home more than 80 or 100 kilometers.
Examples like this happen all across the Middle East. Expulsions, seizure of property, and murder of the Jews.
In the aftermath of the Six-Day War in 1967, the mob in Libya, especially in Tripoli and Benghazi, took to the streets and started burning the homes of Jewish people and ransacking our warehouses. And my father's warehouse was burned. And then they came along and started pouring gasoline around my house. And a Muslim neighbor came down from the building and convinced the mob that the Jewish family wasn't living there anymore. And of course, he saved our lives.
American Gina Waldman started Jamina, Jews indigenous to the Middle East and North Africa.
And I always felt that there was a sense of injustice, that even though we really made a good life for ourselves in whichever country hosted us, nonetheless, we were never recognized for the wrongs that were done to us.
2/3 of the Jewish refugees resettled in Israel and the rest in other Western countries. Waldman and Mnuchin both say they were traumatized. Mnuchin says there's a message for the Western world today.
850,000 Jews were expelled or forced to leave or persecuted from Arab countries. And when we try to overlook these issues, they come again in a different way. So now it's the turn of the Christians who are being killed, shot, and we cannot see any effective action from the West.
For Israel, sharing the saga of Jewish refugees is part of gaining international recognition for their sufferings.
And we say, well, there are two sets of refugees. There are Jewish refugees and there are Arab refugees, and both sides should be compensated together.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Up next, Latino businesses and bilingual schools. And it may not be where you think. A look at Hispanics in the heartland.
CBN. Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No!
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
Ow, my feet hurt. My feet hurt, your feet hurt. White hot pain, I wanna cry. Is there anything I can try?
Why, yes. Introducing Strut Soul Angels, the human shock absorber that helps alleviate foot pain.
The first 10 steps in the morning to the bathroom were excruciating. Within 3 days after I put Struts on, it's been such a relief.
Slipped it on and almost immediately I felt a support, kind of like a pillow underneath my arches.
The Struts Soul Angel provides a great amount of relief and support throughout the course of the day, providing shock absorption and relief of pain.
On your feet without proper support can be painful. Strut Soul Angels promotes better balance, control, and body alignment. Standing in your heels all day is painful, but slip on Struts and you'll enjoy comfort and support 24/7. Struts is so versatile, you'll wear them in every shoe you own, even barefoot.
I'm on my feet all the time. I teach 11 and 12-year-olds. The pain was so much that I knew I had to do something. And with the Struts, I can do my job and enjoy my job.
I usually am on my feet from 8 to 12 hours a day. When I wear my Struts, it's like giving my feet a hug all day.
It's life-changing. I wear them from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed.
Why pay $400 for custom orthotics?
Now get Strut Soul Angels for just $10. You also get Miracle Foot Repair Cream, absolutely free. Use it to help relieve dry, callous feet overnight. But wait, call right now and we'll double the offer free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Plus, you get a 100% money-back guarantee. If not completely delighted, send it back. But keep the foot cream as our gift just for trying. You get it all. A $70 value for just $10.
Oh, yes! Love my Struts, love love my struts, the best thing since sliced bread. They heal pain from toes to head. Get yours now, your doctor said.
Struts. Be nice to your feet. Call now.
Call 1-800-787-1580 and get your Struts and Miracle Foot Repair for just $10 and we'll double the offer. That's 1-800-787-1580 or visit getstruts.com.
Welcome back. More than 50 million Latinos live in the U.S., but not necessarily where you might expect along the border. In the Midwest, Hispanics not only prop up declining populations, they're helping revive local economies. Heather Sells explains in tonight's Focus Report.
Antonio Sosa owns and operates this small grocery with his parents, who immigrated from Mexico some 15 years ago.
When you're new to a business industry, I mean, you kind of have to figure out yourself how to run it.
Sosa works long hours and has transformed the store into something of a community center for local Hispanics.
There's some people that actually come here. They've asked for a little help on translations on some things. We can cash checks, fax papers.
But Sosa doesn't live in California or Texas. He serves a booming Hispanic population in tiny West Liberty, Iowa. This community of close to 4,000 represents a new wave of Midwest diversity. Many Latinos in Iowa originally came for jobs in agribusiness, but now are beginning businesses of their own, and they're adding an economic vitality to a state that could use it.
I would suggest to community look at this as an opportunity. Another issue that I hear all across the state of Iowa from employers is that there's a real concern about workforce shortage.
University of Iowa consultant Jeff Schott says towns that have welcomed Latinos reap economic dividends. West Liberty Mayor Chad Thomas agrees.
I think if we didn't have the Hispanic community here, we'd have a lot more empty businesses downtown.
And West Liberty is not alone. In counties across the state, Latinos make up 5% or more of the population, and they're re-energizing the communities they live in. It's the case in Storm Lake, where 1/3 of the residents are Hispanic.
When you look at other rural communities that struggle to keep their schools open, that have to consolidate school districts, that struggle to keep heads on the beds in their homes and things like that, we have a housing shortage. We have a growing school district.
In fact, some families have moved to West Liberty because of the diversity in its schools. It offers a dual language program for all 12 grades. Bilingual teachers teach in Spanish for half the day and in English the other half. Parents like Pamela Romero are thrilled to see their kids becoming proficient in 2 languages.
It's really good because right now they are both reading English and Spanish. They're writing English and Spanish, even the one that is in K.
They have friends from all backgrounds. We hear them playing. Sometimes they all switch to Spanish and speak to each other in Spanish, which is amazing.
West Liberty classrooms contain more Hispanic children than Caucasian. Across the state, the Latino population grew 82% in the last 10 years, and non-Hispanics increased by less than 2%. Even with those numbers, the Latino growth in Iowa is no recent trend. It started in the 1980s, when packing plants like Tyson Foods in Storm Lake recruited workers outside the state. Eventually, these workers brought their families, bringing even more growth. Now, second and third generations are starting their own businesses, boosting the state's economy once again. Augustine Quiros works with his parents in their tortilla shop. He's also getting a technical degree just in case the business doesn't make it, but he says he much prefers working with family.
It's a pleasure, actually, because I'm not working for someone else, so it's a lot better.
Town leaders with substantial Hispanic growth point out their communities are not bicultural utopias. Storm Lake has worked for decades figuring out how best to meet immigrant needs.
Has it come with challenges? Absolutely. Are there issues that we still deal with our diversity? Every day. Do the positives outweigh the negatives? By far.
As for the future, Chad Thomas says West Liberty simply sits on the front edge of a national trend.
I think 30, 40 years from now, we won't be that unique.
In the meantime, young entrepreneurs like Kiros and Soso will work their dreams. Each have plans to expand and build their businesses.
I just hope it just gets better. I mean, who doesn't want to have their own family flourish, right?
On one level, it's simply the American dream playing out yet again. But this wave of diversity rolling through the Midwest carries enormous stakes, both for our country's economy and a new understanding of what it means to be a melting pot. Reporting in Iowa, Heather Sells, CBN News.
Up next, the lengths that one California man is willing to take to celebrate 25 years.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
A Santa Monica resident refuses to allow his disability to hold him back from attending his 25th high school reunion. 42-year-old Gabriel Cordell has decided to roll from California to New York in his wheelchair. The paraplegic was injured 20 years ago in a car accident. Now he's determined to make this journey a dream come true. Cordell plans to travel about 50 miles a day. His entire trip, get this, 3,300 miles. 50 miles a day in a wheelchair. I mean, it's not easy to do 50 miles a day walking, so in a wheelchair. Well, God bless him, and we pray he has a great journey. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.